How did you get started with this Doggie Doodles?
Doggie Doodles. Well, I had a dog named Sugar, and I think I was about 7 or 8 and got this dog, and I just was in love with her. She was a little mutt, and I was just in awe of her. I connected to her very emotionally. My parents growing up, they weren't, they were kind of, it was a dysfunctional family, a lot of fighting, a lot of drama, and my dog was my refuge. And we would go out into the woods and take walks, and whenever I was feeling sad, she would make me happy. And I tried to draw her. I just started doodling. I was just trying to draw her, and I would just keep trying to draw her because she just fascinated me so much. Even now, I think I look at this, what is dog? It's just so fascinating to me. So I just kept trying to draw her and draw her and draw her, and I would just keep drawing doodles of her. And it was this obsession. And then I would try to draw different expressions because I noticed she had different moods. There would be times when she was really happy, and there would be times when she was sad, or if she was yelled at, her tail would go between her legs. She'd be so sad. You could see all the different emotions, and I could totally connect with all of those emotions. It was kind of like, you know how people draw happy smiley faces?
Yes, yeah.
Well, I would draw smiley faces with dogs, as a dog. I would go through all the different emotions, but I would make it a dog rather than a face with feelings. So I had a companion at school when I drew my Doggie Doodles. So I would just obsessively draw different doggies with expressions, whatever I was feeling. Sometimes I was angry, so I would draw a little angry Doggie Doodle. Sometimes I was sad, I draw a very sad Doggie Doodle. It kept me active. If I could physically engage in doodling, it helped me pay attention to class. So I did that all through school, all through college. I have little post-it notes with little Doggie Doodles everywhere. Even in my jobs, when I've had many different jobs and temp jobs, and I worked at Vanderbilt in research, and in my breaks I would just draw a little Doggie Doodle because I needed emotional connection, and there was no emotional connection in the work environment, and so I'd draw a cute little Doggie Doodle, and it would look up at me, and it would keep me company.
And it did something for you emotionally. You know, there are studies, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I could take so much of what you just said, and I have books. I am the psychology behind what you're saying. You know, everything from if children are working and they're having a hard time with confidence or focus, what's their favorite color? Just put a piece of blue, if your favorite color is blue, put a piece of blue construction paper on their desk and then put their paper on top of it, and they feel better. So you saying that having those dogs feeling the way you were feeling just got you over that hump, and you're able to focus and have confidence in what you're doing. I think that's kind of what I felt when I walked by your booth a few weeks ago. I looked at these and I was like, they're happy and they're whimsical and soulful. And to me, I felt a connection because it's heart. And do you know, I didn't notice until today, every one of her images, you guys, has a little heart on it because she's all about the heart.
Well, and it represents unconditional love.
Absolutely.
And the reason why I draw them is just to connect to my heart and to try to connect to the heart of that dog or cat, because they bring me so much joy. Dogs and cats, they are just so pure. They don't have any pretense. Their feelings show, they're just so innocent. And that innocence that I want to connect to, that when I draw, I connect to that personality and that heart, and I look in their eyes when I draw. I never draw a Doggie Doodle without the eyes. The eyes are everything. I spend more time on the eyes, just trying to get the emotional expression right. If I don't see that dog, that spirit looking back at me when I finish drawing, it's not done until it makes me feel something emotionally.
Yeah.
So it is a connection to the heart, and it's all about connected to the heart. So that's why I draw them. And I have no training in art. It's just my heart coming through me on the paper.
I want to stamp my feet and jump up and down when you say you have no training in art, because you're such a talented artist. And I even looked up the definition of art because I was going to put it in front of you and say, stop saying that. And it is basically you're communicating through a media, and your communication is emotional. Now, I interrupted your train of thought. So we talked about sugar, and we talked a little bit about as you got older, you kept that good feeling, that feel good, I need this in front of me to get through my day and feel like I've really taken on my day feeling. And then at some point, you're doing this for other people. Tell me about that.
Well, okay, so really, let me just say that it wasn't about feeling confident. It was just about having a friend. I was drawing a friend, a companion. Like, I was a lonely child. Even though I have a brother, I was kind of shy, and I drew these as my companions. And even now, that like they're like my people. They're people. Dogs are people. Cats are people. They're different personalities, so they are literally people. They're just not human. So something about that. I used to sign all my cards with a doggy doodle when I used to make cards for people and stuff. It was like my signature, Dina, and this quick little doodle. It was just nobody's dog. It was just a little doodle. That's why they were called doggy doodles.
Yeah, yeah.
So I also delved into, back in 2001, I started doing some yoga, and I found a really great spiritual teacher. And he was talking one time on a retreat how, in his Indian accent, he was saying, dog is love. Because dogs love you no matter what, they accept you no matter what. And it's like, and I was, before, let me go back, I found a very strong spiritual urge since I was a kid to just know who created me, what is this world about. And so I had a very strong pull towards God. And then I found Christianity when I was 14. I accepted Jesus, and I was all about connecting to God, because that also helped my loneliness, just to connect to the Creator. And so I got really deep into that, and I always saw that, many quotes that God is love. But I think God is such an abstract concept that, yeah, God is love, but that didn't do anything for me. But when I look at a dog, they're love. I mean, they come up and they lick your face, and they're all about love and cuddling, and I'm like, God is dog spelled backwards.
Isn't that amazing?
So why not say dog is love? So what I did is I went at this retreat, and he said dog is love, and I said, hey, I'm going to go to Michael's and get a t-shirt and draw dog is love, lowercase, and do one of my doggy doodles on the t-shirt. I thought that'd be cute. Just got the idea. So that's what I did. I started getting little t-shirts and fabric paints, and I just made a t-shirt, and it just said dog is love and cute little doodle. And then I wore it. And then I wore it in different places, and people were like, oh, that's so cute. Where'd you get this shirt? And I would be like, oh, I made it. Oh, really? Can you make me one? And then I started coming up with new captions, and then I started doing like smile, dog loves you, embrace your inner dog, and I had different doggy doodles, and I was just painting on shirts with little markers. And I came up with all these different captions with these little doodles, and my mom at the time, this is a long story.
No,
we can edit.
Yeah.
My mom, who I was very, very close to, we were like best friends, she had suffered from rheumatoid arthritis and some different health issues, and she got on disability a while back, and when she saw that people wanted these doggy doodle shirts, and so she's like, oh, we should put some little tags on it, make a little side business here. And so she's very creative as well, a great writer, organizer, bookkeeper, desktop publisher. So she started getting creative, and so let's make some order forms. And what happened is I was at this group meeting somewhere, and someone said, I want 10 of those shirts. And so it kind of started off with people ordering my doggy doodles. Then I started doing some events at different places with just my t-shirts, and then I got this gig at the factory in Franklin where they have a little kiosk.
Oh yeah, okay.
In 2005 I set up my little kiosk, and I had my little t-shirts, and at this point I was scanning all of my art. Then I started printing out some, making little magnets and drawing on totes and things. And then somebody came up to me and says, can you draw my dog? I'm like, I don't know, I don't draw people's dogs. I don't look at a picture, I just draw from my heart. But my mom said, don't say you can't. I always said, I can't, I don't do breeds. And she's like, stop saying you can't.
I'm not an artist.
I know, she would always make fun of me. I'm like, I can't. She's like, I can't. Stop saying you can't. So
and then doing it anyway.
Yeah, so anyway, so I said, well, let me see, I'll just try. I said, let me do it first. The first breed was a poodle, and I said, well, I have to have a caption for it. So I said, my first poodle doodle. So I did this little poodle doodle. It was just a doodle, it was just black and white with a pen with a little red heart. And I put poodle doodle on the t-shirt. And they loved it. And so okay, and then people kept asking me if I could do their dog, and I'm like, well, I have to come up with a caption, because I was not thinking of myself as a pet portrait artist. I was just thinking of myself as this is just a quick little essence. So I kept getting orders for drawing people's dogs, so I would do the best I can to make it look like it, and then, my best, I have no idea how to make it look real, but it was my best attempt at making it look like their dog, and they loved it. They were like, this is so cute. And I'd always have a heart on it, and I'd come up with a caption, and I've come up with captions for like 80 different breeds. Mm-hmm. I have mutts, I have kitties, and I came up with a line of magnets and t-shirts and with the captions with different breeds, and I started drawing for people. And anyway, so long story short.